Hi, Bob Goldring here, SGS Environmental Global Marine Services. We're filming here today at our Wilmington, North Carolina laboratory facility, one of our many facilities globally to service your needs for the environmental marine sector. Today we're going over basic procedures for the collection and packaging of your scrubber wash water sample. We have our quality director here, Jeannie, from our Wilmington lab. Hi Jeannie, how are you doing?
Hi Bob.
Jeannie, could you explain to the ships what they can expect when they receive the coolers?
Sure. Each sampling event, they will receive 3 coolers, one for each location. The coolers will be labeled on the outside with the location, and inside will be everything that they need to sample that one sampling point. Inside of each cooler, they will receive all of the paperwork that they need for that event, pre-filled out with the exception of the date and time, which they will add when they collect the sample. All the packing material to pack it up after they've collected it. They will also receive the ice packs that need to be sent back with it to keep the samples cold during shipment, as well as all the different sizes and types of containers to fill for the testing that we have to do.
I see there's many types. There's glass, there's plastic. Are there preservatives or something in them?
Yes. Each container is either glass or plastic, various sizes and various preservatives in order to maintain the integrity of that sample for what we are testing it for.
Jeannie, could you please demonstrate how to fill each type of container and maybe the proper safety gear we need?
Sure, Bob. We always want to make sure before we start filling the containers that we have the proper safety gear on. At a minimum, for this type of event, we will need safety glasses and gloves. That should do it. We have 3 different types of containers here to fill basically. We have unpreserved glass and plastic, we have preserved plastics, and we have vials. I'll demonstrate how to fill each type. For the unpreserved, we just want to take the container and fill it up as high as we can. We do not want to overflow it. Once the container's filled, you want to put the cap back on securely and then move on to your next container, filling all the unpreserveds in the same manner. The preserved containers will each be labeled with a round sticker that tells you the type of preservative that's in it. So any containers with the round stickers on them will have preservative in them. These containers, you do not want to dump the preservative out, and you do not want to overflow them as it will dilute the preservative. For these, you want to carefully remove the lid, fill the container without overflowing, recap the container securely, and fill each one in the same manner. For the vials, you'll receive 6 vials. 2 of the vials that you're going to receive are going to be what we call trip blanks. These you do nothing with, you do not open them, they're already pre-filled, they get returned to the lab, and they're part of the QC that we run on the tests. But there will be 4 vials that you'll need to fill, and for vials, when you fill them up, they have a little bit of preservative in them. You want to fill them up all the way without overflowing them, and you want to have 0 headspace in the vial after it's filled. So you're going to fill it up until you have a little bubble of water on the top. So you want to make sure that your water stream is very low flow. Once you get a nice good low flow, then you can fill up the vial. You don't want to overflow it, and you just want to get it so that it's bubbled over the top slightly. And then put the cap on securely. You can check to make sure that it's properly filled by flipping it upside down and observing that there's no air bubbles in the container. And that is how you fill each type of container.
Due to the short hold times for 2 of the tests, onboard testing is needed. The first onboard test is a very simple pH test. You can secure a meter from your medical department, and it would be the pH meter that you use to do your pool samples, your spa samples, and your public water. You're simply going to fill one of the containers that says pH on it and take a pH reading. You're going to record that reading on the chain of custody. There's a place provided on the chain of custody where you can just write the pH reading in. The second is something called hexavalent chromium. This is the container for it. We have an onboard test kit that we are going to send you that will be demonstrated later to show you the proper method for onboard testing of the hexavalent chromium. We've collected all the samples and they've been placed in the cooler. Jeannie, could you explain the process and what needs to go into the cooler?
Yes, so when the samples are being packed up after they've been collected, the first thing you want to do is put a layer of frozen ice packs across the bottom of the cooler. Then you want to return all the containers back to their original packaging. The glass containers need to go into the bubble wrap sleeves and then inside of the Ziploc bag and sealed. Those will be placed in the four corners of the cooler to help avoid any breakage during transit. Then the rest of the containers will be returned back into their packaging and placed down inside of the cooler. Once all of the containers are in the cooler, then we need to place more ice packs between the containers to keep everything cold. So we'll place all these ice packs between the containers. Once we have all the ice packs that we need between the containers, then we put a layer of ice packs across the top of all the containers. So we'll put a layer across the top. Once we've completed that, then we'll put a layer of bubble wrap on top of that, and then the paperwork. So we have all of our ice packs in. Now we'll put one more layer of bubble wrap, and then we'll put our signed paperwork sealed in a Ziploc bag on top of that. Now the cooler is ready to be picked up by an SGS courier.
If possible, please place the cooler in a cool place while waiting for your pickup. This is a demonstration of one of the field tests you'll be doing on board your vessel. This particular test is for hexavalent chromium. This is a lab technician from our Wilmington office, Amelie. Amelie, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, great. Could you show us what's in the kit and basically what's in the kit?
There's two vials that should always be on the left side of you when opening the kit. The vial furthest from you is your control vial, which is purely sample, and the vial closest to you contains your sample along with the reagents that you add to it. This first bottle of reagent is called CR2. It is a scoop for powder, and the other three bottles are your reagent 2, which is CR2, and it is an eyedropper with liquid. And then you also have a color-coded card to match up your sample with your control, and on the other side there is a description, step-by-step process for it.
So Amelie, at this point, could you actually show us how to perform the test, please?
Yes.
Great.
First, in the vial furthest from you, which is your control vial, you will add 20 milliliters, which is indicated by that black line, of your sample and cap vial. Then in your second vial, which is the vial closest to you, you will add 2 scoops of CR1. And 12 drops of CR2, and when adding these 12 drops, the bottle should be held completely vertical. Once your 12 drops of CR2 have been added, you then cap the vial and mix until the powder has been dissolved within the liquid. Once dissolved, you then add 20 milliliters of your sample scrubber water.
Right, scrubber wash water.
Also indicated by that black line. Once your 20 mils have been added, you will then shake your vial so that your reagents will be mixed with your sample, and then set it back for a minute.
So, I guess it's been 60 seconds or 1 minute. How do we read this?
Well, first, you must insert your color code card from the right, going towards the left. So from furthest from your vials, going towards your vials. And of course you must take your caps off so that you can actually see the color matching.
Ah, okay.
And once your colors have been matched, you will then look to the side, to the right side of the sample kit, and the number that is closest towards your sample kit pointing is the amount of chromium you have in your sample.
So we're looking for a color match.
Yes. The chromium is at a level 0.03 milligrams per liter.
Thank you for watching this short video presentation collecting your scrubber wash water samples. May we ask you to please collect your sample as close as possible to pick up time. It's our pleasure and honor to be serving the world's fleet. Thank you for watching.